Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawnbusters Taste Challenge. All right, we have from 1880, but not this formulation, but from 1880 Windsor Canadian. All right, Windsor Canadian. Canadian blended whiskey. Supremely smooth. Yeah, it used to say Windsor Canadian Supreme, but they still keep that tagline, I guess, supremely smooth. This is now a Beam-Suntory brand. I don't know who made it to start with. It also used to be aged 4 years. I looked at some old ads saying Canadian Mist is only aged 3 years. This is aged 4 years. It's better. But now it's been dropped to 3 also, so they don't even have advertisements for it anymore. Anyway, it's just a low grade, I guess you'd call it Beam-Suntory brand. And in fact, they revamped their website in 2019, and they don't even mention this brand on there anymore. They used to have a page for it, talking about how they use all these wonderful grains from Alberta and this glacial water and all this stuff, and how it was popular in the United States along the Canadian border, like in Wisconsin and all. But they used to have a page for Kessler, American blended whiskey, but that's all gone. I don't know why these companies do that, but there's some reasoning behind it. They don't want to talk about some of the brands they make for whatever reason. Maybe they're embarrassed of them, or they only want to focus on the big timers. We can get Windsor Canadian around here, but it's not common. I saw it at Winn-Dixie 2 days ago, and they only had the big jug bottle, you know, the 1.75 liter, and it was $16.99. Now this 750 I bought at Winn-Dixie in a different town, and it was $10.99. So Mathern's doesn't have it, Walmart doesn't have it, Food for Less doesn't have it. It's, you know, Winn-Dixie carries stuff other people don't carry. All right, and then you know, there's a lot of stores around here like that. Like Winn-Dixie carries T.W. Samuels, but nobody else around here carries that, to my knowledge. All right, well, anyway, enough of that. So now we go to Caliber. It's going to be competing this morning against Caliber Canadian. Nothing on the back. Everything's on the front. The whole label's on the front. I said this before. It looks like a food service label. You know, like they have companies that deliver to school cafeterias and everything's on the front. There's not much of a label. So you've got the crown. Most of these Canadian whiskeys will have a crown because of the government, the royal government of Canada. And then they'll have maple leaves, you know, maple leaves. They'll usually have purple and red, usually, not always. And then they'll keep saying Canada and Canadian numerous times. A smooth and mellow blend from our master distiller is 40% 80 proof. Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Most Canadian whiskeys have natural flavors added. Bottled by I.W.A. Distilling Company Limited, Louisville, Kentucky. So it's bottled in Kentucky. I.W.A. Limited. That's an alias of Sazerac. This is a plastic bottle. I notice a lot of companies now going to the same exact design plastic bottle. Whatever company makes these is making a lot of money. It's just a standard bottle shape. I saw Jim Beam in these. Jack Daniels. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. So that's becoming a new thing. Age statement. No. Nothing. I bought this at Walmart. You know how much this cost? $5.96. Can you believe that? $5.96 for $7.50. Somewhere on here it says age 3 years. I know it does. That's the minimum anyway in Canada. Yeah, this whiskey is 3 years old. Now, could there be older whiskeys in that blend? Older than 3? Yeah. But it doesn't matter. You could have 24-year-old whiskeys in a blend. But if the youngest whiskey is 3 years old, that's the year you have to cite. That's the age you have to cite. In case you didn't know that. This doesn't have an age statement, but the minimum, like I said, in Canada is 3 years. In the U.S., the minimum is like 3 minutes. There is no age requirement in the U.S. for blended whiskey. The only requirement is that if it's less than 4 years, they have to give the statement. So some of those will say 2 years, like Beam's 8-star, 2 years. It used to be, no, I guess it was always 2 years, but it used to be a higher percentage of straight whiskey. But oh, well, that don't feel too bad, because Redemption bourbon was 1 year. Tanya Mikowski wanted to do an examination on Redemption, which I did with her. What was it, the high rye we did, I think? And I said, what? It said, this bourbon is aged a minimum of a year. I said, 1 whole year. Golly gee. Now, I know what you're going to say. Straight bourbon has to be at least 2 years. Yeah, but that didn't say, that's not classified as straight bourbon. It's classified as bourbon. You see, there's a lot of little exceptions to all these rules, and the companies take advantage of these exceptions. You can just be bourbon. The Canadian Windsor is golden, and the caliber is more copper. Amber. I'm sorry, amber. Can I tell them apart? Well, I don't know. I've only had Windsor twice in my life. When I did the taste challenge 2 days ago, I got it wrong. But I wasn't used to it, and I started thinking, okay, I'm trying to get a handle on this. Caliber tastes like most of the other Sazerac brands, meaning what? They seem to have a lot of white rum in them, silver rum, which gives them that, like John and Nilly said, almond extract flavor. So I don't know how that would appeal to you. The Windsor has that too, but it's not as strong. Now, let's be honest. If the Windsor's $10.99 and the caliber's $5.96, if it's close, then caliber wins by default, right? That would only be the sensible thing. That would be the only sensible approach. Why would I pay $5 more? Why would I pay $5.03 more for a whiskey that's only marginally better? If it's better at all. I don't know. I haven't done a taste test yet. Well, the answer is clear. I wouldn't. I would not. You might. I wouldn't. You say, well, that's plastic. It doesn't bother me. Other people, like the Whiskey Scout, he doesn't deal with plastic. If it's plastic, he doesn't deal with it. You understand? He has a right to have that approach. Of course, anybody has a right to take whatever approach they want. Doesn't bother me, but maybe I'm more lowbrow or something in my approach. That could be. But since everything seemed like it's going to plastic anyway, the Windsor is going to have to be significantly better. The Windsor, let me repeat, the Windsor is going to have to be significantly better to win, okay? If it is not, it will lose, even if it's arguably better in the flavor. And I'm not sure that's going to be the case that they gave me. All right. Bucky Dent said, "What's up?" Oh, I'm just chilling, drinking the bud. Maxwell says, "Greetings. Greetings to you, Max Walt, in the Russian Federation." I was reading about the Soviet Union yesterday. Well, it was mainly I was reading about the great proletarian cultural revolution and the mysterious and strange story of Lin Piao escaping from China or trying to escape or whatever he was trying to do and crashing in Mongolia and him and all the people on the plane being killed in 1971. And the Soviets said that they could have made it to 2 Russian cities in Siberia. They could have made it. They don't know why the plane crashed. But there was all kind of theories, and nobody really knows exactly what that story is. Like the Chinese government, the Communist government of China today says, "Oh, well, here's the official story." He was the second in command under Mao Zedong in 1971. He was being prepped to be the next ruler of China, but something happened, and all of a sudden they weren't getting along, and there's all kind of theories that he was trying to secretly talk to the Republic of China government in Taiwan, the Kuomintang government, and perhaps bring them over and overthrow the government of China and let the Republic of China take over again, as long as they promised him a big position in the government. And all kind of crazy stories. But they were saying, well, why he didn't just escape to Taiwan? I mean, they would have been delighted to have the second in command of Red China come over there and defect, you know, or why he didn't go to the Philippines. So the whole story is bizarre, but that's why I was reading about Russia. All right. And it has nothing to do with Canadian whiskey. Okay. Here we go. Daylight is starting to filter in here at 7:49 Central Daylight Time. I'm going to have to start these at 6 Central pretty soon, though, because it'll just be dark the whole time. You know, you get later in the summer, it'll be dark till 6:15 because of that stinking daylight savings time, which at least Arizona's smart enough not to adopt. There's talk that other states, maybe the whole country, will get rid of it because it messes up your sleeping patterns and everything, you know. It's only the tourism industry that wants it, so it'll be daylight at 8 o'clock at night so people could be driving around on a vacation at night. But that doesn't make any sense because all these things close at 5. Like you go on a trip, oh, let's go to the national park, closes at 5. And then the visitor center might close at 4. I mean, they barely open. You know, it's U.S. government hours. The employees get there at 9 and they leave at 4. But so like, what's the purpose till 8? Because like I said, a lot of these things are not open late. Maybe amusement parks, yeah, but the darkness wouldn't matter there anyway because they have all those carnival lights, and those are geared toward nighttime. So the whole concept, and it doesn't save any electricity. That's just like a myth. No way. This smells pungent. This smells like grain. I'm telling you, if you like the smell of cereal grain, man, you would love these Canadian whiskey blends. It is just, you see, like if you drink bourbon, right, you get a lot of vanilla and oak and dried nectar, flowers, you know, because that's bourbon. It's corn liquor aged in oak, charred oak. Okay, that's what bourbon is. It has to be mostly corn. Now, these are probably mostly corn too. You know, maize. If you're in Europe, you might say maize. Corn grits, yellow corn grits. What is a grit? Like in the movie, My Cousin Vinny, what is a grit? It's dried corn pulverized into, not powder, that's corn flour, but little bitty granules. And that's where the whiskey comes from. Okay. In Canada, they age it in used barrels, old bourbon barrels. Now, is there any rule against new, never before used charred oak barrels? No, there's no kind of rule. It's just traditionally it's cheaper, you know, they get the used barrels and just like Scotch, and they age it in used barrels, okay? And plus, you don't want it to really taste like bourbon. If you want it to taste like bourbon, you just make bourbon, but they want it to taste like its own thing. Canadian whiskey has its own flavor. and aroma, and they add flavoring. Bourbon cannot have flavoring added. In Canada, they can have flavoring added. You get it? Rum, brandy, and even bourbon in the flavoring. Various wines, usually dessert wines like sherry and port, probably things like that. But if you like this smell of cereal grain, this will really appeal to you. Strong cereal, corn, barley, rye. It's all of that. It's like the great Canadian Western interior plains. You almost have to exhale like, it's such a strong aroma. Wow. Let's go over here. No, not as strong and bountiful in the nose. This is more, what is this? Now here you get more of the honeycomb. Why, oh why do Canadian whiskeys have some of them have a honeycomb and honey aroma? I don't know. Just go by Canadian Club, you'll see. And this smells kind of like Canadian Club, and Canadian Club's a Beam-Suntory brand. So there's my first clue. This must, you say you're cheating. You're using mental tricks to guess. Well, okay, I'm not looking at it, so I'm cheating. So okay. It smells similar to Canadian Club. For all I know, Windsor Canadian could be Canadian Club, just a 3-year age Canadian Club, whereas Canadian Club is age 5 years. You hear what I'm saying to you? It might be the same exact whiskey from the same exact distillery, age in the same exact age and house, rick house. All right? Sent down to Illinois and bottled. That's where Canadian Club's bottle. That's where Windsor Canadian's bottle. And just a younger Canadian Club, 3 years. Wouldn't shock me at all. Would it be the same liquor? Wouldn't be the same because of the age difference. But it'd be the same in all intents and purposes. And the price is not that different. I can go to Winn-Dixie right now and buy a bottle of Canadian Club with 2 glasses, a gift pack with 2 glasses for $11.99. So, well, yeah, I would pay $1 more to get the 2 glasses. Heck. And plus, you could buy some, give it as gifts. People would love it and say, ooh, boy. Now, so already, I think I got it. I don't know why I got my eyes closed. Well, I'm worried about the shade. There's a shade difference. Island Natty says, yo, what's up, Ronnie? Morning prayer, laugh out loud. Yeah, it looked like I was praying, huh? I did pray this morning, and I read the Bible. I always read a chapter a day in the Bible. I was reading Jeremiah, the warning book. Warning, warning, warning. Now, people don't like to be warned. You know, they want, I'm going to do what I want. Okay. You can eat all the food you want, get as fat as you want, get as high blood pressure as you want. You can do whatever you want, but then there's consequences. See, it's all about consequences. So that was very good, and I was reading that, and I've been doing that since 1989. True story, 30 years. So let's go with the taste challenge, but I'm telling you, this is the initial, I'm not calling it, this is the initial guess. The initial guess is this is the Caliber. I used to think Caliber was a Walmart only brand. It is owned by Walmart. The trademark information I found is that it's owned by Walmart, but yet other liquor stores sell it. It's produced by Sazerac. You can buy it in Iowa at the Iowa State Liquor Store. Caliber. Just look at their website. Tell you right there. Any size too. The big, this size bottle. Now you might say, yeah, but Walmart probably contracts it out. Probably does. But it wouldn't matter to you if you buy it at that liquor store in Minnesota that I saw it on their website, or if you buy it at the Iowa State Liquor Board, you still bought it. You just didn't buy it from Walmart. Even if it's owned by Walmart, you still bought it, right? Jeremy Vincent says, morning, Ron. Morning to you, Jeremy. Now that tasted very, I wouldn't say bland, but very basic, okay, over there. Island Eddie says, size like BBC World Service. Okay. All right. Strange, though. This taste over here, the taste is kind of like Caliber, meaning it's got a strong almond extract, as John and Neely would call it, or white rum. Go buy a bottle of Castillo. That's a good one to try. Go buy a bottle of Castillo white rum. It's from Puerto Rico, and then taste it, and then try this, and you'd be like, ding, 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 I made a connection. Yeah, you made a connection, see? Of course, Sazerac's using their own rum in it. You know, they have their own rum brands, and, you know, they're going to probably use their own, right? Would make sense, right? Okay. Which one tastes better? Well, let's do that before we try to figure out which is which. Anyway, it's a taste challenge more than a taste figuring it out. It's all about which one tastes better. Well, it's hard to say, honestly, because neither one tastes bad. If you're used to bourbon, you'd just be appalled. Well, you might not be appalled. You might just think, well, this is really different. Just say, this is a lot different. Or you might be dead, say, you know, some people are dedicated to a certain flavor. So they say, I drink bourbon. That's all I drink, damn you. And you say, well, you never wanted to try. No, hell no, I didn't want to try Scotch. Okay. Or a Scotch drinker be the same way. Oh, no, no, never, 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 never. But then some people will be open-minded, you know, but you don't have to be open-minded. I'm not calling you out if you're not. You have a right. You say, it's my money. I can be closed-minded if I want. Well, of course. I never said you couldn't be. But whether they liked it or not, a bourbon drinker, if they're really used to bourbon, if they grew up drinking whiskey and their whole experience was bourbon, they would say, whoa, what is this, you know? And they might like it and they might not. You know, whatever. Now, if you grew up drinking Canadian whiskey and you went to bourbon, that would be a shock too. You'd say, wow, you know, oh, this is thing. And maybe you'd hate it and maybe you'd like it, or maybe you'd be indifferent to it. I don't know. But it's certainly, I don't think anybody would think that it was similar. It's just so, you know, you drink Scotch, it doesn't taste like bourbon or Canadian whiskey. You drink Canadian whiskey, it doesn't taste like Scotch. And I include Irish whiskey in the Scotch because they are very similar in that structure. And if you drink American bourbon, it doesn't taste like those. So that's like a triangle. And they're just so up. It's good that it's a triangle because they're very far from each other. You say, yeah, but they all use corn as their base, unless it's single malt Scotch, which is using malt whiskey, barley malt. Yeah, right. But if they're blended Scotch, then it's that corn base. So you could take corn, yellow corn, and then it gets 3 different flavors, very diametrically opposed flavors. You said, well, there's some commonality, grain, cereal grain. Yes, that's true. That's the undertaste. But if you're not too experienced with it and doing taste challenges every morning and all, then you wouldn't maybe pick up the undertaste. Now, once you pick up the undertaste, then you can see they're not that different. But if you're only looking at the top side flavor, they're very different, very different. This is kind of tough. Daylight. Got to go walking. Got up at 2:44 this morning. I said I should sleep longer, but I knew I wouldn't go back to sleep. I said, well, I don't lay there, just lay. I said, I'm getting up. First thing I do when I wake up, make the bed. I can't stand for that bed to be unmade. You know, get all the sheets straight, tuck it in, made, pillows nice. I think that's like a discipline thing. I go to some people's house and their bed is all unmade, 3 in the afternoon. I'm thinking, I don't know. It's like a discipline thing. You know, you want things done. You know, you want to get things done. Those kind of things just bother me to no end. Like I'll go to walk down the street and somebody will have like a McDonald's cup in their yard. Now, 3 days later, it's still in that same spot. I'm thinking, why would that be there? You know, like I wouldn't have it in my yard for 10 minutes. How could it be in your yard for days? Are you lazy? You say, well, they're playing video games. They sit on the couch and play video games, and then they look at their phone all the other hours. I believe it because I see people doing it. That's their whole lives. Looking at that smartphone. Well, you're not very smart. But you're lazy as I think I'm getting a handle on it. Hey, look, I want y'all to make comments about what we're doing, not about extraneous things. So let's stick to the topic. I don't want to talk about Donald Trump or the BBC World Service. Okay, nothing against you, but this is not about that. Can't walk here today, getting the rain from Hurricane Barry, so riding the recumbent bike this morning. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw the radar. It was heading up there in the Missouri, Arkansas and Missouri. All right. Enough of that. All right, so here we go. Okay, I got it, I think. Well, initially I thought this was Caliber and that was Windsor, but now I've changed my mind on flavor. The Caliber has too strong of a the flavorings flavor. Sherry. I think a lot of churches use sherry. I think that's true. Rum, yeah. They're really shining through. They both have heavy grain, so the heavy grain flavor isn't going to matter. It's the other stuff. This one doesn't have as heavy of a flavorings thing, and I think I remember the Windsor not having such a heavy regimen of flavorings. So now, which one tastes better? It's a tie because it depends on what you prefer. You know what I mean? Like the quality level is identical, so that means what? Well, that means Caliber wins. Again, this thing keeps winning. I thought this was going to be a dreadful item. When I bought this, I was reluctant to buy it for a few years because I was like, I bet it's going to be horrible. It's from Walmart. It's Caliber. It's $5.96 a bottle. But actually, it's not horrible at all. It's far from horrible. It's obviously not world class. You're not going to impress friends and family and associates at work with it. I wouldn't give it as a gift, you know, in this beautiful place. Distilled from premium grain, it says. Distilled from premium grain. That's for sure. But it's not bad, you know. It wins by default. Automatic, it has to win. It must win. It has to win because it's $5 cheaper. So, got 5 people watching. 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb down. Is there no other answer? There's no other answer. Caliber wins automatically because I'm not paying $5 more for a whiskey that's no better than the cheap one. So, is Windsor Canadian worth it? Sure, but can you get a lot better value? I didn't say better whiskey, but can you get a better value? Sure can. Sure can. So let's say this is Caliber. I did it. I did it. I did it. Yes, Caliber. I got it. I was throwing. See, when you rush, if you rush these things, boy, you are going to be in trouble. You be like JJ in Good Times. JJ, my man, you in trouble. So, but I didn't rush, and I got it. So you say, well, I can't stand these taste challenges because they're too long. I understand that. And if you didn't watch them, I wouldn't take it personally. If you said I'm not watching it because they're too long, I wouldn't take umbrage with that. But It isn't a little exercise. They last about 30 minutes. If I go on a rant, they might last much longer than 30 minutes. And now I've got a prediction to make for the rest of this month. You know, I got so many Canadian whiskeys. It's incredible. Canadian Windsor, I think, is not going to win. Not going to win. Not going to win. Well, it might win against Seagram's VO because Seagram's VO is $22 a bottle, $23 a bottle. This is $10.99. And is Seagram's VO way better than Windsor Canadian? Oh, I don't even know if it's better. You hear what I'm saying? Is it better? I'm going to do a taste challenge. I'm not sure if it's better. She'll cost twice as much. So, okay, fascinating. But my feeling is that Windsor's going to be getting beat a lot. It's going to get beat by Rich and Rare. That's $7.92 at Walmart. It's going to get beat by Rich and Rare Reserve. It might be a tie because they're both the same price, $10.99. You pick your poison there. Canadian Limited is going to lose to Canadian Limited because of the price point, $7.49 a bottle, or maybe it went up to $7.79. We're talking about a nominal price. It's going to lose to Canadian Hunter, which is $8.99 a bottle. That's $2 cheaper. It's going to lose to that. So you may as well get prepared for a lot of losses. Now, is Windsor Canadian going to lose to Gibson's? No. Because I thought Gibson's was the second worst Canadian whiskey I've tried. That was just not cutting the mustard. That was just, every time I drink Gibson's, I hate it more than the time than the previous sampling. And another one I couldn't stand was the one from the company that went out of business. Heir to the Throne. Oh, that thing is insidious. The more you drink on it, the more you realize how bad it really is. Initially, I thought it was good, but I kept drinking it. I said, "Ugh, I'm glad this company went out of business. This is an awful product." And it was $15.69 a bottle, and that was on clearance, so it was probably $30 a bottle initially. Ooh, ugh. And it's got a cork, like it's some kind of legitimate product. So does Gibson's have a cork. If you ever see that, run. Don't walk away from it. Run from it. Now, I know you're like me. You'll probably say, "Oh, no, I'm buying it now. Anything you say is bad, I got to buy it. I got to see for myself." I know you're like me. I got to try it, Jeremy Vincent says, I've never tried Gibson's Canadian whiskey. Looks like I'll avoid it after what you said. Ha, ha, ha. I'm not too angry about it. I got a huge bottle, this huge glass bottle for $9.99. But I kept hearing all these wonderful things about it. People say, "Oh, it's so good. It's popular in Canada." $65 a bottle in Canada. Yeah, you heard me right. $65 a bottle in Canada. I said, "What? For this junk?" So that's what you're going to see. Now, if you want to save some time and effort, don't watch them, because I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm predicting it. I think I'm right. But time will tell. You never know till you do it. So what's coming up next on Thursday? Well, the plan is Windsor versus Rich and Rare. And Windsor better get ready. Okay, Beam-Suntory, the Japanese company Suntory bought them out. You better get ready because you're going to lose again Thursday. You are going to lose. Now, that is almost a guaranteed prediction, and I'm not cheating. I have no reason to cheat. Thanks for watching this video production. Let's see any last comments. No. Oh, that's that.